Can you hear me? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. You know it's a delay with social media. It's a delay. Do you hear me?
It sounds good. Oh, okay. It sounds good.
got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I'm back.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready to recharge in relationships? You don't want to miss our amazing host, Timera, the entrepreneur, business coach, pastor, and impactor. Our amazing and exciting co-host, Royal Dynasty. Our special guest, Tim Washington, the DJ, entrepreneur, and business guru. Pastors Leon and Delilah Vernon, pastors of Envision Global United. It's time to recharge while single, dating, married, or divorced. Yes, yes, and yes. Remember, everyone has a story, and everyone's story can help someone else's story. If you don't know, now you know. The time is now, and now is the time. Let's take it up a notch and let's recharge in life and in business. Join us with special guest Shay Reed, the entrepreneur and credit expert. Jasmine Mike Poindexter, the entrepreneur and virtual assistant expert. Rhonda T. Pearson, the entrepreneur and business coach. Coach Lonnie Bartlett, a Georgia Sports Hall of Famer. Remember, entrepreneurs, people know people you don't know, but people you need to know. It's your duty to win. It's your duty to win. So get in the room so you can produce vision in the earth. Hey, hey, hey now. We're not done yet. Wake up. It's time to charge up. Let's recharge spiritually and mentally. Make sure you are there to hear the amazing story of Elizabeth McCain from broke to multi-millionaire. Quinetta Moore, the entrepreneur and branding strategist. Dr. Shamika Robinson for words of encouragement. Belinda Scott, amazing and anointed gospel recording artist. Register and get your seat today. I said register and get your seat today. Meet us there physically or virtually, but meet us there June 24th through the 26th. We'll see you there.
Welcome to the Timera Bell Show on today. You guys, I hope you're excited today because we have a special guest, Mrs. Cassandra Moody. Come on and give it up for her, give it up for her, give it up for her. Yes, yes, as you can hear, we got some people in the audience today, and I hope you go ahead and do me a favor. Press that share button for me. Go ahead and tag 4 people. I want you to share this with your friends, your family. Share this with some entrepreneurs you know. Because we got a boss in the building. We got a successful boss. Y'all, she's on the billboard here in Warner Robins. Yes, yes, yes. She is known as an amazing and phenomenal realtor, you guys. And I'm so excited and so thankful for Mrs. Cassandra Moody being here with us today to educate us and talk to us on today. But you guys, I'm going to give you an update on how this works. So you know Mondays, it's all 5 p.m., but Mondays is Boss Rise Up. So if you're a boss, you want to tune in on Mondays. On Tuesday, we got the opinion, take it or leave it. You need some advice, I'm going to give you the opinion and you take it or you leave it. Wednesday, we got tea with the ladies, impactful conversation. Yes. And then Thursday, we have the prophetic room. Yes, we're going to walk into the prophetic. We're going to prophesy. And then Friday, we have I Am Harvest moments where you get to testify, you get to share your story and talk about the good things that happen to you throughout the week. I'm going to bring you on. Yes. So I want you to get excited for what's about to take place. And again, make sure you share that video, okay? If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, if you're watching from YouTube, go ahead and click subscribe. Thank you. Yes. Awesome. So are you ready? Because I'm ready. Oh, yeah, Cassandra.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. All right. So, Cassandra, at this time, if you could just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, so that they'll know who's sitting with us on today.
Okay, first, before I get into that, I definitely have to give it back to you for allowing me to come and share your platform today, and so that we can actually share to other individuals as well. So again, I thank you, and I thank the audience too for coming in. So I truly appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, and you're welcome. All right, so go ahead.
Okay. Whoa, it's a lot of things. So where do I start? first I want to say I give thanks to God because He's the head of my life. I want to thank my family, my husband, my supporters, my mentors, coaches. I mean, there are so many people who inspire me to do what I do today. And when somebody else inspires you to do things that you love to do, you want to share that with other people, and that's what I love to do. So really, pretty much, like you said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've actually helped individuals, personal credit, business credit, starting their own business, and above all, real estate. Because we want to talk about all those different things. Basically, I call myself, AKA the Wealth Princess. I'm a business coach. Anything that, I don't mind helping people. I'm going to start back having my seminars, and, COVID kind of put a halt to a lot of different things that were actually going on. But in my spare time, I love to travel, read. I do a lot of research, spending time with my family. I'm actually originally from Fort Valley. I will say that people are like, I didn't know you were from Fort Valley, but I am from Fort Valley. I attended Fort Valley State University.
Come on, Wildcat.
Yes, Wildcat. And I got my master's in human resources from Troy University, and I was in the telecommunications industry for a long period of time, helping small businesses establish themselves. And when you're actually on your job, kudos to job. So y'all appreciate y'all job because that's how you learn a lot of things. But I learned a lot about different businesses, and they used to tell me, you have a lot of knowledge. Why are you working somebody's job? You need to get out there and start your own business. So that's how I kind of really got started, and then from there I go to different networking events. I'm a part of a group called the Pink Millionaires. If you guys want to know more about that, you're gonna have to hit me up because my goal is I come from network marketing. I've been doing that for several years, and I made my first 6 figures in network marketing, and I took the money and invested it in other businesses. So y'all want to know how to do that? You gotta contact the Wealth Princess. So pretty much that's a little bit about me. Like I said, I love spending time with my family. And other than that, guess what? I'm out helping somebody.
Awesome. I love it. Do y'all love it? Did y'all feel that? Oh, man, I felt that. Oh, it's so much that you said that I just want to dive into. But one of the things that I love that you said, starting out, you said you want to thank your mentors and your coaches. And one of the things that I do is I try to get people to understand the power of a coach and the power of a mentor. So if you would just share with the audience, like, what has been your experience without a coach opposed to with a coach?
Before I get to answer that question, let me say that it's the power of the mind. The mind. It's all about mindset. I had to have a mindset shift. Because at first, like, somebody tell me, hey, you can get a lot of knowledge if you go to this professional development or take a professional development course. We'd be like, But guess what? We'll go out and get that Michael Kors bag, or we'll go out and get some Jordans. And guess what? What type of investment are you going to actually get from that? So in my spare time, I actually do online webinars to increase my knowledge, skills, and abilities, and I go to networking. Like Mother's Day weekend, I treated myself to an event where I learned how to start a family bank, where I actually learned about cryptocurrency. Things that, a lot of people just like, okay, I don't want to do that, I'm not going to risk. You risking going out, look, you done spent $100 a day. Can you tell me what you're spending on? Or what do you actually have to show for it? So coaching is so important. There are some people that pay coaches $3,000 to $100,000 a year, but guess what? They're going to get the return on investment because their business is going to turn into a 7-figure income business. So just think a little small investment in somebody else to give you the knowledge that you need in order to take you to where you want to be. That's the difference. Because without a coach, I don't even really know where I would really, because I don't know everything. I don't like to try to be the smartest person in the room. I like to be in the room with smart people.
Come on.
Because then I get all the information that I need. I know I'm a quiet storm a lot of time, but I like to observe. Sometimes when you're in a room full of people, get to know everybody because you never know who you actually are sitting in the room with. And then by you gaining that knowledge, everybody gaining knowledge from each other, guess what? Now we're helping each other. We're helping each other overcome that bad mindset.
Right.
And actually you're shifting into something positive that's actually going to benefit not only you, but it's also going to benefit your family. So always look to invest in you. And you can't say that's too much. Nothing's never too much for you and your family.
That's good. And getting to know everyone in the room, I call that Rick Rossing. Look for the t-shirt. And because Rick Ross made a statement, he said he doesn't go to any event and leave that event without touching every person in the room. And so when you've made up in your mind that you're going to impact, you're going to influence, you're going to transform lives, whatever it may be, when you step in that room, you don't know the knowledge of somebody else. So I love that you say you love to be around smart people, right? I always tell people, and one of the things I tell my husband all the time, whenever you feel dumb, oh, you in the right room. You in the right room. Because you realize, and this is the thing, we hear it a lot, train up a child in the way you want them to go.
Absolutely.
But the problem is, a lot of parents don't know how to train up their children to even go into the better self, or go into that wealthy place, or go into that better life. And so you need those coaches and mentors that have the knowledge that your parents didn't know. Because the truth is, the only thing you're producing is what was embedded in you.
And they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly. So I love how you told the audience that, because I think a lot of times people are saying, well, why would I just pay somebody to tell me something? The same reason you pay for that cable that you watching. All the thing they doing, they just on the screen feeding you a story. But when you rather have a story that's going to transform your life, and then somebody that's actually you can touch, or somebody that you can see on a monthly basis, and then you see the results behind it. Because you're when we talk about coaching, not only are you stepping into business, but you're also stepping into self-care. So let's talk about that a little bit, Cassandra. Let's talk about self-care. How has your process been? Because I'm going to be real, for me, it's easier to let go of you. It's easier to let go of you. It's easier to put everybody before you, and next thing you know, you've done nothing for yourself. But when you have that right coach, and they make you look in the mirror, and they make you say, you know what, I messed up. Me. What are some things in your self-care process that has helped you be able to spend more time with your family, and be able to walk into the success that you walk into?
People, it's funny because, my background is human resources. And people say, oh, I see now why you get along with people. But you also got to think about it. You treat people like you want to be treated. But one thing that one of my millionaire mentors tell me, how many hours in a day? 24 hours in a day. You got 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours to work your business if you've actually started a business. So this is what I do on Sundays. I sit down and create my schedule for the week. Nice. I leave time open for different things, because you never know when something may actually come up. But I also leave 2 days out for myself. One day is totally self-care. This is a day I'm going to treat myself and do what I need to do. Another day is going to be for me and my family. And then also, if you have your spouse or whatever, you got to create a date night. You got to create time for yourself. You got to do that. And then guess what? You got to learn to say no. I used to be the person that always say yes.
Woo. Tell everybody.
You can't always say yes. You got to always say no. And if people don't respect that, you don't need them in your circle.
That's good. I know. Because that yes is, when you're a good person, it's easier to say yes and hurt yourself.
Right.
It's so many times you'll say yes knowing you just put yourself last.
Right.
And we're taught a lot of times that that's selfish if we think about ourselves first. But I'm learning from mentors, from coaches, that putting myself first is the best thing I could do for anybody connected to me, because I can't properly and effectively help anybody until I learn to put myself first.
Right.
So we're going to get to the business side, because I know y'all want to get there. Y'all want to get there.
This is the basics. What you're talking about, people have to understand this.
Yes.
Before you even really get into the business, you got to understand mindset, self-care, learning to say no, and things like that. Because back to what we were actually talking about, you are the average of the 5 people that you be around. You got to look at the people in your circle now. I'm telling you, I keep emphasizing that, because then we're a bunch of individuals in this room right now. You want to be around people that's not talking about people. You want to be around people that's talking about business, talking about helping you, self-care. What is it that you do? Sharing ideas, valuable ideas that's actually going to help you be able to grow.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times our conversation shows us ourselves, and we have to ask ourselves during those 24 hours, what is mainly coming out of our mouths? Because whatever is coming out of our mouths is actually spiritual, but it's also mental. And so if you're negative most of the time, you got to ask yourself, why am I negative? What around me is negative? Positivity is a key point for success. When I say success, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about that life that you desire. And when we are in a positive atmosphere, it's easier to speak affirmations upon our life. But you may be a person that's saying, okay, I'm not around positivity. So you have to begin to create the environment.
Right.
You got to begin to speak those things into the atmosphere. So, Cassandra, have you ever been in a place where it was your words that brought you out? The things that you spoke that brought you out. Can you just tell somebody that may be tuning in and they're about to give up, they're about to throw in the towel because mom and dad don't believe in them, their cousin don't believe in them, their best friend don't believe in them, and they're stuck right now because they don't know how to get out of that rut?
I'm glad that you asked that question because think about it, that goes back to self-care. So what you want to do is, in my scheduling, every morning when I get up, first thing I do is give God his praise. Then you see what I do on Facebook every morning. Get up, put out those positive affirmations, or say something positive so that people can understand. They be like, "Oh my God, you put that out there. That was for me." I know it was for you, but also that was for me too. So by me encouraging myself, I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere, and I've encouraged somebody else, and I didn't even know it.
That's it. And one of the things I love that you said is how you didn't know that you encouraged someone else with just what you put out there. We got to also understand that our lifestyle is putting it out there. So people are watching us, and there are people that say, I want to be just like her. Even though, sometimes we say we don't want to be like a person, but you need role models. You need that person that you would like to become. Like I always tell people, and I'm bold enough to say, I've always been speaking millionaire all my life because I want to transform the lives of so many people. And it's like you need money in order to do that. And so with that being said, there are certain people that's in the millionaire status that I look up to, and there are things that I pick out from them. So with you, what are some things that you gravitated towards on other people that have helped you in your life?
Not only did I look at their successes, I look at how they treat other people.
That's good.
That's number one. I don't care. You can be over there. You can know everything, putting out. But if your energy ain't right and you're not treating people right, that's just not for me. It's not my place to correct you. You know exactly what you're doing, and sometimes you don't understand why people don't gravitate towards you. People sit back. They don't have to really explain themselves or whatever. But if you are actually putting out that energy where you want to help people, you have the knowledge, you're successful, you're where people want to be, people will gravitate towards you. So I want everybody to really understand that communication is not about what you say, it's your actions, what you do, your facial expressions, and something like some of my friends be having these crazy I used to have these like crazy facial expressions, but I really start being mindful of how I look because I don't want people to think that I'm giving off energy about them. But communication is so many different ways. It's verbal and it's nonverbal.
Did y'all hear that? Nonverbal and it's verbal. Like you just taught us some stuff. Like your face expressions. Some of you know about them face expressions. You got to be cautious of that because you never know what a person is going through. That may cause a person to commit suicide. They may cause a person to go into depression. And it's because they perceived what expression you put on your face in a negative aspect. And it could be you didn't think nothing of it, but can we be real? Face expressions don't lie. I'm just saying. So if you really was disturbed and you got a face expression problem, most of the time that face expression was actually expressing your mindset.
Right.
Now your words, you probably can lie with words, but it's something about face expressions. Like you have to. I love the fact that you said you used to be that way. So you just let me know that you can practice and change that about yourself.
Right, because people used to think that I was mean. Because I was quiet, whatever. I studied people. I'm looking at you. I can tell a lot about you. Like, I can shake somebody's hand, and people are like, oh my God, how do you know about that? Personality, like, sometimes let me give you an example. Sometimes you may shake somebody's hand and, ooh, they didn't act like they didn't want to touch my hand. No, those are spring personality individuals. They're loving. People take advantage of them, things like that. But then you may get that person like, hit your hand hard. You're like, oh my God. They're go-getters. They're hungry. They want to, you could just tell a lot. And I've learned about it. And then people are like, oh my God, how did you know? I just laughed.
Wow, that's good. Spring. Did y'all hear that? Spring? Like, okay.
My husband's a spring person.
That is good. And you know, that is stuff that a lot of entrepreneurs need to know, because body language is something as an entrepreneur you need to really pay attention to.
Right.
Because one of the things is I've been in, like I'm in Primerica and all those things, right? So for me, when I first got in, a lot of people asked me, how did I recruit over 100 people within 8 months? And I literally, from the time I got in May to December, I got absolutely not one no, right? It was because I'm like you. I'm so observant. It's like, no, I can pretty much feel, okay? You know, some people might call it prophetic, okay? You know, I'm going to call it observant in that aspect with a little bit of prophetic, right? But I could feel when somebody wasn't going to do it. And I'm going to be real. I've actually talked to certain people and say, you know, they really don't want to do it.
Because they need a lot of work. You can
Exactly.
tell.
Yeah,
you can tell. Is their mindset, oh, that costs too much. Then, okay.
Yeah,
this person is not for you.
And the thing is, a lot of observant people come off as quiet. But we're not quiet. There are so many people that have mistaken me, and they're like, I didn't know you talk like that. And I'm like, well, I was observing. I pay attention first. You know, they say be slow to speak, right? Mm-hmm. You have to be observant. Observation can really help us.
It can.
So, for you, being an observant person, what are some benefits that you can give the audience from being observant as far as personal as well as business?
You just said something right there, because you know, a lot of times when you're having conversations with people, they're not really listening to you. They're listening to reply rather than participating in active listening.
Mic drop.
And they're over talking you. They didn't hear anything that you said. So sometimes when I'm in a room of know-it-alls, I don't speak because my opinion is not gonna matter.
That's good.
You really have to think about that. They're not really listening. They're listening to what you're saying because they don't agree. Because everybody has a different type of opinion. You just have to respect each other's opinion. So when they're listening to you, they're like, she wrong. You know, they might not say it, but that's what they're thinking. But you have to be open-minded. And when I talk to people, I'll be like, oh, okay, I haven't seen it like that. But maybe, do you think that you could have done it like this too? See, that's a more tactful way of putting it rather than saying you wrong or what have you. Now you're having a good positive communication back and forth between you and the other individuals rather than attacking them.
Right. Now I have a question since you said that. Do you feel like a lot of parents fall in that category?
Yes.
Because
I'm guilty. You know what, to be honest, when it comes to your kids, I'm guilty of it sometimes. So you really have to stop and say, okay, let me listen. And then respond, because then I know what you're trying to do, because guess what, we've been kids, so that's what we love to say. But you have to stop and really listen to your children.
Right. And the reason I said that is because I think a lot of parents, if they took out the time to listen, they will understand the route or the direction in which their children may be going. And so let's even go there a little bit as far as you being an entrepreneur and having children. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're raising children still, or as an entrepreneur, do you feel like sometimes life gets too fast for you? Mm-hmm. And when you step back, do you feel like there are certain things that you would change, or you feel like, oh man, I can't believe I missed that because you were caught up into the entrepreneurship world?
I'm going to say this. Before I became an entrepreneur, I worked all the time. I have 4 children. I didn't tell you all that. My oldest is 25. My daughter, she's 19. Then my youngest son is 15, and my youngest daughter is 12. And it was hard when I worked, because when I worked, I was working all the time and wasn't able to spend more time with them. But as an entrepreneur now, and I'm creating my own schedule, now I find more time. So looking at it from that perspective, I wouldn't go back and change anything. If I had to do it, I'll do it over again. But it's all about planning your time with your kids. Is it important? You got to look at the things priority in your life. What's important to you? Okay, you know, you got your marriage, you got your relationships, you got your children, or what have you. You have to put them in that schedule too. And then let them see it important. And then like my youngest, and then my daughter, she's in the business with me too. My oldest son is in the business too. So have them participate in it, so then that way there's something else that you all are doing together as well.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I hope y'all loving this. If you are, heart it up. Make sure you share. Come on. Pull out your phone. If you ain't already on your phone, share this with a couple friends. You guys, we'll be back after the break, you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready to recharge in relationships? You don't want to miss our amazing host, Timera Bell, the entrepreneur, business coach, pastor, and impactor. Our amazing and exciting co-host, Royal Dynasty. Our special guest, Tim Washington, the DJ, entrepreneur, and business guru. Pastors Leon and Delilah Vernon, pastors of Envision Global United. It's time to recharge while single, dating, married, or divorced. Yes, yes, and yes. Remember, everyone has a story, and everyone's story can help someone else's story. If you don't know, now you know. The time is now, and now is the time. Let's take it up a notch and let's recharge in life and in business. Join us with special guest Shay Reed, the entrepreneur and credit expert. Jasmine Mike Poindexter, the entrepreneur and virtual assistant expert. Rhonda T. Pearson, the entrepreneur and business coach. Coach Lonnie Bartley, a Georgia Sports Hall of Famer. Remember, entrepreneurs, people know people you don't know, but people you need to know. It's your duty to win. It's your duty to win. So get in the room so you can produce vision in the earth. Hey, hey, hey now. We're not done yet. Wake up. It's time to charge up. Let's recharge spiritually and mentally. Make sure you're there to hear the amazing story of Elizabeth McCain, from broke to multi-millionaire. Quinetta Moore, the entrepreneur and branding strategist. Dr. Shamika Robinson for words of encouragement. Belinda Scott, amazing and anointed gospel recording artist. Register and get your seat today. I said register and get your seat today. Meet us there physically or virtually, but meet us there June 24th through the 26th. We'll see you there.
And we're back, you guys. I hope you are enjoying it, because I'm enjoying Cassandra. Y'all, are you enjoying it? Because I am. Come on. Yes. So, you guys, we're going to dive into the business part. Because I know some of you, you're tuning in, you're like, okay, I love that. But let's dive into this real estate, because I want to buy a house. You know, some of you want to dive into that. But before we do that, I want you to talk about your why. Because we was talking about that during the break. So I want you to talk about and explain to them your why and what that did for you. Because I'm going to tell you what it did for me. When I had my firstborn, I didn't have my firstborn until I was 29. And I realized that a piece of me was missing, because I've always been a person to go get stuff. But once I had my son, it was like a fire just shot through me. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was missing. And it became my why. Right. And so let the audience know, what's your why and what did it do for you as a person? How did it change you? And what are some things that it actually made you go after that you would have never went after?
Well, I'm going to say this before I really kind of go into it, because a lot of people really don't, I don't go into my story as deep, but I ran away from home when I was 17 years old, and people were like, oh, she's going to get pregnant, I'm going to be that statistic and everything. I'm like, I'm going to show people, I'm not going to, you're not going to label me. And I've always been a go-getter, and so I went to finish my degree, went to college, and I did all of that because I wanted to do it, but I also wanted a family. So, when I was 25, like, I ain't gonna ever be able to have any kids. So I was kind of like a late starter too. So like I was really having kids in my 30s.
Wait, can I stop it right there? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? She ran away at 17, did not have her first child till 25, and she's a boss. Come on, y'all give it up for her. Come on now. I just had to do that.
So you can do that. So always, don't ever push your kids away. Talk to them. That goes back to what we were actually talking about, because I ran into a couple of situations with my children, but you have to listen, and you can't control them. You can only listen and be supportive, because you don't want to push them away. If they got to go to somebody else for some advice or what have you, you're gonna lose your kids. So I just want to throw that in there. But my reason why is them. that is the reason why I go, because my son used to play football, and he just didn't decide he want to play football. But I said I need the time to spend with my kids. So how can I do that in the workplace? So that's when I decided that I want to be my own boss, so that I can be able to own my own time. So people think that I do it because of money. No, I do it because of time freedom. And time freedom was for my kids. So that's my reason why.
Did you hear that? Not for money, but for time. How many of you need time? If you think about it, how much time do you have to yourself? How much time do you have to your family?
It's
I
crazy.
can't even. That was a mic drop, y'all. 'Cause it was, and for some of you, it was a light switch that went off. Because so many times there are so many entrepreneurs or people that go into entrepreneurship, and the dollar sign is what that drives them. And I don't know about you, but for me, that is not the reason.
That's not.
Because if you're gonna go that route, you probably need to just go find you a job that's paid 6 figures.
Exactly. Exactly. And to serve. I love serving. I'm going to tell, if people just don't really realize this, and anything that you do, you got to serve. You have to serve, because that's how you get your blessings. When you're doing that, you're kingdom building.
That's good.
You really, that's kingdom building. So I want to say this, how I got started, it is crazy. I work in corporate America, was making good money. So I started my first business, Brown's Precise Consulting, back in 2010, and I said I want to do taxes. So when I was getting off work, I decided that, okay, I'm going to do taxes, but I wanted to grow my business. So I remember I got my degree. Mm-hmm. I never had to check my credit. I was just like, okay, whatever, But guess what? In order for me to get a business loan to grow my business, they had to do what? Check my credit. So this was the first time that I really realized having several degrees and not understanding financial literacy is so important for our communities. This is a breakthrough right here moment for me, because then I got started. I was just like, it was a young lady that worked with me, and her mom did it. And I was like, and she's now one of my coaches to the day. And she was like, you need to call my mom. So I signed up for credit services. And she said, well, you know what? You can actually offer this to your clients. You're a tax professional. Now, when people get their taxes done, what you do with your tax return? You want to go pay off the bills, right? When you go pay off the bills, guess what's going to happen? You paid off that bad debt, but it's still going to be on your credit, right? A lot of people don't know that. Yes, it does. So I got started, and I started working. I started getting out into the community, promoting financial literacy. I traveled. I've been even over in Puerto Rico promoting financial literacy, because it's so important that we understand not only just your personal credit, but debt, learning about having a will and trust and things of that nature. And that's how I really got started. I got started on social media because so many people out there was not financially literate. Financial literacy is so important, because then now you're out there, you're promoting financial literacy. Kids are going off to college, getting credit cards, getting drowned in student loan debt. Now, if I knew now what I knew then, I would not have gotten all that student loan debt. So I got started that way, and then 5 years later, I decided to invest in another business, but with the money that I made. I opened up a body sculpting shop. I want you guys to check me out. Don't get it twisted, body sculpting here in Warner Robins. And then not only that, with helping people, refer them to a company that, I partner with, they help them with their credit. Like, oh my God, I want to be able to get a house. But Miss Cassandra, you need to be a realtor, because we will go with you. I'm just like, I am doing too much. I do not have time. So I decided to invest in me again. Invest in taking a real estate course. And I got my real estate license. And then that way, now I look at myself as a full-fledged financial services business, because if people don't, wanting to get a house, don't have to worry. I refer them over to a company that can actually help them. Now I get them to my lender. My lender pre-qualifies them for a home loan, and she can actually help you a little bit, even if you don't sign up with, some type of credit services. Some of the lenders can actually work with you and get you points towards your credit score. So I really work with an amazing young lady out of Arizona. So she helps them get pre-approved. Then when they get pre-approved, they come back to me. Now I'm actually able to help people buy a house. So not only am I a buyer's agent, but I'm a listing agent too. So I do it all. Then when they get approved and they get the house, I send them over to my husband. Like I said, I'm a full-fledged one-stop shop. So that's how it actually got started. And I just really love helping people. And then helping people, not only that, when you start your own business, people don't even know what they want to do. So I sit down and I coach them and I talk to them and I ask them, what do you like to do? Because you got to turn your passion into your, help make your dream come true. So a lot of people do that because God has given all of us talents. Each one of you in this room have talents. What are you doing with those talents? That's what you got to really think about. So I just love helping people. I love helping people. I love coaching and talking to them. And they call me all the time. Well, let me call Miss Cassandra. She knows. And if I don't know, guess what? I don't know everything. I do know other people who do. So just contact me. That's close networking. You want to network with other individuals.
Notice that she says she know people that do. One of my slogans is people know people you don't know, but people you need to know. That is so important. And if you don't have people in your circle or people that's not exactly in your inner circle, they could just be close enough that you cannot send other people to, then it's time that you evaluate yourself and make sure that you start getting in more rooms. You ain't in enough rooms.
Right.
You ain't in enough rooms.
Right.
Because we are not here to put all of everything in one bucket, but we're here to collaborate.
And it's called, I like what you said, putting everything in one bucket. One of my millionaire mentors said, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. It's about leverage. You see, I did one thing, and I tell people this sometimes, even if you don't know what you want to know right now, and if you can start, if I tell you that, if you can invest some money in something now, and I tell you, if you follow my instructions, you can be a 6 or 7 figure income earner, would you not want to do that? All you have to do is follow instructions, and people don't really follow instructions. So that's how I made it, became a 6-figure earning network marketer. My coach said, are you coachable? Are you teachable? Are you trainable? Yeah, I'm all of that. So by following her lead, I actually reached one of my goals.
By following someone else's lead, not the person looking in the mirror, but by following someone else's lead. And you're right. It's hard for a lot of people to follow instructions. We as people, we can tweak it a little bit. I'm going to just tweak it a little bit. No, you need to change that tire exactly how that tire needs to be changed, because it don't need to wobble while I'm driving. It don't need to fall off. It needs to do it. And let me tell you, I remember I was in college, and during that time I had a Grand Marquis, right? And so I had a Grand Marquis, and the brakes were scrubbing, but it was the back brakes. And I was in my hometown, and I was like, I need somebody, but I don't have no money, y'all, right? And my uncle said he'll do it. But then he saw it, he was like, I don't know. I got on YouTube. Y'all, give it up for YouTube. I got on YouTube and it said how to do it. I literally walked him through how to change.
What?
And just because I'm not tweaking nothing, I'm going to tell you exactly how they said it. And guess what? Got the exact results. Why? Because when we follow instructions of those that went before us, when we follow the instructions of those that are where we're trying to go, it's going to get you the similar results or better. I think that's hard for people to believe.
It's not, people say, oh, I'm coachable. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not coachable. But what you just described, and in network marketing, we call that systems. And what does system mean? Saving yourself time, energy, and money.
That's good.
That's what you just did.
That's good.
People got to really think about it. Like, it's a systematic way. So my coach told me, if I can follow this system, I can make you a 6-figure earner. To be honest, y'all, I didn't really believe it. But guess what I said I'm going to do? If this lady over here is 6- and 7-figure earner, I'm just going to follow what she told me. Next thing you know, I got a letter from the corporate office saying, hey, congratulations. You have been out in the industry helping serve so many people. Congratulations. You have reached the 6-figure income earner.
Awesome.
So just follow the system, guys. It works.
And that's the thing. I tell people a lot of times, business is a system. And it don't matter what industry that you're in, it's a system to business. And we have to understand that. And due to the pandemic, a lot of people have gone into entrepreneurship. I call it winging it. Okay, they have no knowledge of being an entrepreneur. They don't even know if they're capable of doing it. But the pandemic said, okay, she doing it, he doing it, I can do it. But they're missing that main piece, and that main piece is the mentor and the coach. That's the main piece of the puzzle. I tell people, growing up, my dad owned 7 businesses. And I didn't understand. You're right, I wasn't coachable, not by him, because he would say all of these things. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, but you own $3 stores. You own all these companies, but you don't know what you're talking about. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Like, you're just saying that because I'm your daughter.
That's your,
right?
And that's your dad.
But it wasn't until I became an adult that it didn't matter how many times I didn't want to listen. He planted seeds in me that grew. That's why it's so important as entrepreneurs that you're always planting seeds. You're always telling me about your business. I'm going to tell you, you're on the billboard. You plant seeds every day. Like every time I'm driving, Cassandra. Like you planting that seed that in my mind, look, when we get ready to buy a house, it's Cassandra. Because you planted the seed, not by what you said out of your mouth, but because you posted something that we can see. A lot of times we think seeds are only sown verbally, but you can actually sow seeds by what you see.
And a lot of people start, and I like that you said that they don't like investing in them. When you are in a business, you have to invest in your business. Whether marketing, social media, what have you, then I'm actually getting the fruits of my labor now because guess what? I'm marketing. I got to spend that money. In order to make money, you have to spend money as an entrepreneur, so you have to invest in you.
And that's something that I know that you keep saying, that investing in you. And I also love how you said you started a business, then 5 years later you started another business.
Leverage.
What would you tell someone who has all these visions? And they're like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to do it now because I got all these visions. And because it's not working out the way they think, whether it's those visions are business, whatever it may be, it's not working out. What's some advice that you can actually give them?
It's their vision, but they have to set a goal. They need to get a mentor to help them achieve those goals so that, it's like when you create a vision board, you write, the Bible says write it down, make it plain. So once you do that, you can't do it by yourself. I'm going to say this. You cannot do a business by yourself. You never did it by yourself. There's always been somebody that helped you get you to where you need to go. I didn't do what I did by myself. I had other people to help me. And sometimes people can't get out of their own way, and that's what would destroy them.
And do you feel like that's because of lack of trust? Because one of the things I tell them is the only reason why you haven't expanded your business is because you don't trust people. But I tell people, trust the gift, don't trust the person. Right. Like, the Bible says trust no one.
Right.
But God. But if you trust the gift, a person will operate in their gift with no problem.
Because you know better. So you look at that gift. Look
Right.
at that gift they got. They doing something else, whatever. Look at the gift. Don't look at the unethical way of doing things because you know better. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be judged by what you do. So look at the gift.
Yeah, look at the gift. And for you, you're saying you can't do it by yourself. I think a lot of people, especially in our culture, they just want to say they did it by themselves.
Ooh, that's a lie. I'm sorry, that's a lie. Nobody did anything by themselves. You had to go to school to learn.
Come on.
You probably seen somebody else making dolls or whatever, and you were infatuated with the fact that they were making dolls and you wanted to do it too. But you got it from somebody. Like I said, I seen people do taxes. I'm like, okay, they're making a lot of money doing taxes, so I want to do taxes too. That's how I really got started. But I'm just like eager to learn everything. Like I like knowledge. I like up late at night. And I'm gonna say this. I gotta say this before anything else. You know how I hear people all the time like, I don't have time, but you out doing everything else. While you over there talking about you ain't have time, you finna go to bed. Guess what? I'm up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning researching what it is that, how I can do something better. You went to sleep. I was up.
You spoke truth, Bill. You spoke truth, and that is why she is Cassandra Moody, y'all. That's why she is successful, you guys. So we're gonna take a break. After the break, we're gonna get Q&A, some questions answered. So you guys get excited. We'll see you after the break. When I look to my right, I go break, man. When I look to my left, can't stop Jehovah. You can't stop Yahweh. You can't stop the great I am. Lives inside of me. You can't stop Jehovah. You can't stop Yahweh. You can't stop the great I am. Lives inside of me. I'm back and I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm a force to be reckoned with. And I'm coming like a super threat. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I'm back, stronger than I've ever been. I'm a force to be reckoned with. And I'm coming like a super threat. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And we're back, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the break. I hope you're excited about questions. So if you have questions dealing with real estate, business credit, personal credit, taxes, whatever it may be, or just life in general, we want you to put it in the chat so that we can definitely ask those questions. But right now we're going to go to our audience. Do y'all have any questions at this time?
Hi, yes. My name is Jasmine. Ms. Cassandra just let me say, what an honor. Like, you are full of so much wisdom. It's crazy. But my question is, for those who are going through their own entrepreneur journey and they hit their hard place, that hard route where they're not seeing the return, what have you done to keep you pushing past the illusions or past what you wasn't seeing producing?
That's a great question that you just mentioned, because a lot of times we don't see it, and that goes back to what we talked about, getting a mentor, working with somebody who sincerely wants to help you, and write down the top 3 to 5 goals before you actually talk to them, and then that way the individual can actually help you get on the right path. Because then, like, you might have 2 or 3 things that you're thinking about. Then you go talk to this other person, go talk to this other person, because you know what, we talk to people, but we talk to the wrong people sometimes, and that could confuse us. So you want to actually be able to have that positive influence. Get you a coach or a mentor. Get with somebody in the same field that you want to go with. Go to a shop and really sit down, introduce yourself, get to know that person. If you want to do a hair salon, go to a hair salon that's booming. Go introduce yourself to that individual and say, hey, I'm looking at becoming a beautician myself. I want to ask you, do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Things of that nature. So you go look to the person who, in the same field or the same direction that you're going into, or get yourself a mentor or a business coach.
Awesome. Y'all give it up for the question, Jasmine. All right, we have another question.
Hi, I'm Lexi.
Hey, Lexi.
I am a newly graduated college student, and what I wanted to ask is that if you could instill one piece of financial advice to like young 20-year-olds who don't know anything about finance, i.e. me, if you just could speak to that whole group and you could give them one piece of advice and know that they are trainable, they are coachable, they will listen, what would that advice be if you could just have them listen to it and have them follow it no matter what?
What I would do is actually take a financial literacy course, because they actually have them out there. We don't think it's important. So if you don't think it's important, you actually get around, talk to an instructor or what have you. Normally they'll tell you, hey, go. Robbins Federal Credit Union actually offers free financial literacy coaching, or classes. But you can also look online and look up different financial literacy classes too, free courses that you can actually enroll in.
Awesome. Give it up for Lexi and her question. All right. Any other questions? that was good. Did y'all hear that? Robbins Federal.
They have a lot of they offer a lot of classes, especially to kids. So I know you just graduated from college, but they actually offer a lot of courses too to the young kids, because you're never too young to learn about money or what have you. My 12-year-old said, hey, she created some purses, and I talked to her about financial literacy as well. So now she's talking about she's going to be an entrepreneur. She said, Mom, I'm going to be just like you.
That's good, though.
But you got to start them out when they're young.
Yeah, you definitely have to do that. And the reason I say that is because, like I said, with my dad, one of the things I always tell people is, you know how you have birthdays, you have Christmas, you got all of those. My dad never gave gifts. He always gave books or CDs. People talking about how to become well off. And Donald Trump was one of those people, okay? And not only Donald Trump, I don't know if you've ever heard of David Bach. I mean, David Bach has been drilled in my brain. And we didn't understand.
But look at you now.
Yeah. It's like you can't run from it even if you try.
You can't.
But I thank God that he decided to do that. Because I tend to tell people, my mom and dad were not married. So my mom was the one that worked. She was in retail, and then he was the entrepreneur. And so with them not being married, I was able to see the different lifestyles. And the lifestyle that I preferred was the lifestyle that my dad had, because I've never seen him work. Even though he owned all these businesses, to this day I've never seen him work.
Right.
And I used to say, you lazy. Like, you just straight lazy. You don't do nothing. You're always telling people what to do. And believe it or not, my husband does the same thing. He does it exactly. I tell my husband, you just like my dad, I'll pay somebody. It ain't that serious. And I'm like, whoa.
Exactly.
He's just like my dad. And so some people, that's a bad thing. But then when I got coaches and mentors and the millionaire status, prime example, I don't know if you heard of Myron Golden, but Myron Golden made a statement. He said, somebody said, well, why don't you just mow your own yard? And he said, okay, why do that when I can pay someone? And they said, but it's so enjoyable, right? It's so peaceful. He said, imagine me sitting in my little thing, drinking a nice lemonade, reading a book while I paid someone to mow my yard and I'm watching them. I think that's more peaceful. And I was like, oh my gosh. And one of the things that he said was, I get my time back.
Right.
I get my time back. Money allows you to get time. Your time. And we don't understand that, but it's true. That so many times you're working that job and that dream is stirring up on the inside of you. That vision is stirring up.
Trading time for dollars.
Yes. And it's like 30 years pass, 40 years pass, and you still have it. One of the things I tell my mom is, like, I used to tell my mom, all you do is work, because that's all she did, retail. And we never went anywhere. Like, nowhere. Thank God I played sports. Thank God I did other stuff. But we never went absolutely nowhere, because she always worked Saturdays. No-go, right? And when I got in Primera, I got her in. She didn't believe in it. And I said, I just need you to come to North Carolina with me one time, man. But it was on Saturday. She couldn't do it. And she finally went. And that was the first time she ever felt free. That's the first time she ever felt free. And when she did that, she said, 30 years, I'm walking away. Not for the money, for the freedom. For the freedom. And now, whatever she does it because she want to do it. And the thing I realized from watching her, and that my children were my wife, but my mom was too, and she still is, because the thing is, it's like to see someone work so hard, and you don't see the reward, but she's a good person.
Yes.
I'm like, nah, that's not life. That's not how we're supposed to live. She deserves more. She deserves better. And I remember going hard. And the Spirit of God came to me and said, I need you to do this for yourself, because this is what's going to break your family free.
Right.
And it's like a light bulb went off, and I was like, okay, but this is a walk of faith.
Yes.
For real. Walk of faith, because let's go, right?
Yes.
And it's like, he began to give me strategy. And that fire is now, okay, my mom is 20 years older than me. So for the next 20 years, the next 30 years, the next 40 years, the next 50 years, however many years, I'm going to do this so that I can be able to give her this. And it took 2019. My grandmother passed away. Once God gave me increase, 2019. My grandmother, this was the thing. Everything is timing, you guys. You got to understand timing. My mom would take my grandmother to lunch every single day from the time I was born. There was not a day didn't pass where my mom did not take my grandmother to lunch.
Wow.
And then she went into management. Management consumed her, and she could no longer go to lunch. 2019 is when my mom left retail. And because she left, and because of what we were going after it, when my grandmother got sick, they had took her to the hospital in Florida. And I was like, let's go. It was no question about it, you guys. No question. Let's go. We were there for a whole week. Mm-hmm. Man, let me tell you about them hotel prices. Woo!
I know,
they were serious. I was like, cause I can't just, I was like, okay, I can't just keep sending this thing. Let's go get a hotel. But I was sitting there, and growing up, I used to always envision, I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have this, so that I can watch my grandma walk into her freedom, watch my mom. But I got ready to lunch increase, not knowing October 2019, I would lose my grandmother. Wow. And I realized in that moment, I gotta do this. And I can't wait. Because I just knew my grandmother would see these things come to pass in my life. And that's when it shifted for me of, I hear you, but now I'm listening.
Right.
Now I'm listening because now I understand. Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to you, and I'm hearing you talk, and I'm listening to this. And you, believe it or not, you are the example that many of us, we need. Because one of the things that you did the entire time that you talked was express joy.
Yes.
You express joy and love for what you do.
I do.
A passion. And believe it or not, y'all, that's the key. That's the key, to be passionate and have that joy and have that love. And I'm going to leave y'all with this because y'all saying I got no more questions, right? But never look at a hurdle or a stumbling block as the thing that's supposed to stop you. You know, I tell people many times, like, my husband started his funeral home in November. But in the process of that, he lost 5 of his closest loved ones within 12 months.
Wow. Oh my God.
Closest loved ones. And I watched a man be strong when he could have just threw in the towel. I watched him still go after it and still launch the very thing that his biggest supporters supported him on. They left. Many times I realize people say, I'm not supposed to do it because something keeps happening. No, that means you're supposed to get it done. You're supposed to do it. If you don't do anything else, do it. That's why something is trying to stop it. See, you don't have to tell me that there was some times that you may have wanted to give up. You don't have to tell me there were some times that you wanted to cry or you did cry. You don't have to tell me none of those things, Cassandra.
It happened.
But the end result,
it's all worth it.
It's worth it.
I gotta say this since you said that. I want to tell you all something. It was hard. I put on Facebook the other day, I struggle. I just don't quit. That's the thing. But when I told you all I first started my business, I was working for a company, had been there 15 years, made good money. So when I started my business on the side, part-time, I told my coach, I got a coach at that time. I was making good money, but I was scared. I was scared to walk away from my job. So I'm going to tell you all this. I want you to listen very closely. So I kept telling my coach, I said, I'm going to quit. She said, okay, I believe when it happens. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to show her. So it was December. I never forget this. December of 2016. I had started working my business. I think I had been doing it like a year. So I put in all my vacation for the first part of the year because I said, if it gets slow, I can come back, So December the 12th, my last day would have been like December the 16th. But on December the 12th, I never forget these dates, y'all. So I went to work and I got called into the office. And they told me that they were letting me go. And so I was so upset that day. I was crying and everything. But you know what? That was God. Because he said, guess what? If you won't let go, I'm going to let go for you. So when I left that day, by the next couple of days, I was good. I worked with my coach close and got another promotion. And from that, my business flourished. Because he said, you are not coming back to that job. That's what I wanted. And it took God to help me. I was like, it wasn't those people. I said, that was God. Because he said, you are not coming back. So sometimes when things go bad, we always say it's the devil. Sometimes it's not the devil. Sometimes you have to be put down. You have to fall down before you're actually able to get back up. But the goal is to never quit. Achieve your goals. Strive for the best because you are the best.
Awesome, you guys. Give it up for Cassandra Moody, you guys. Yes, yes, and yes. I'm loving this. You guys, I thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that you got some great nuggets, some great gems. I hope you got some life-changing memories and moments that can actually help you in your life and that can be beneficial to your life. You guys, I am Timera Bell. And again, we thank Cassandra Moody for being our guest on Boss Rise Up segment. This is Timera Bell's show where we are transforming the lives of those raising tomorrow. And until next time, we will see you all. Blessings to you.